Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial by the Linesmith on how to use Glide Stick. Glide Stick is our Dyneema line wax which will prevent abrasion to your line and will make your steering a lot smoother, especially when you're doing a lot of rotations, kite loops and that sort of stuff. So let's get started and first cover what abrasion is. So abrasion will happen when your lines have friction with one another. So I have two lines here which have been used, and as you can see, this line looks quite good. It's still intact, all the fibers are looking good, and then you can see on this line that there is damage to the outer fibers. And that damage is what we call abrasion. So it's the friction from the lines which will be rubbing against each other like that. And from your kite loops they will move across each other like this and then scraping each other and destroying the outer fibers of the line. Eventually this will damage your line far enough to have the breaking strength really low, and then eventually it can snap. So we want to prevent it, and how are we going to do that? So you can see on this line which I'm holding that there is abrasion damage. So let me try to get that in focus. Yes, and you can see that there is a lot of abrasion damage to the fibers on this line. But we can put some glide stick on it and then prevent this from happening, and it will slow down the abrasion because there's less friction within or on top of the line. Okay, so let's get this in focus. So the two lines are here and we take our glide stick. This is a Dyneema rope wax, and this rope wax will prevent damage to your line. It's really simple how it works. You just put it on top of the line, and by adding some wax, I'm just gonna add a teeny tiny bit and show you guys on what it can already do for you. Okay, so I put some wax on this area here. Let me show you and get that in focus. You can see the yellow dot on this line. You can see it right there. That is some wax. Now you can already see that there is far more abrasion here than what we have here on the abrasion damage. Now let's get that in focus. Okay, so you can see there is some yellow here on the line, which is some of that wax. I just put a teeny tiny bit. We're gonna add some more to this line, but you can already see it on top of the line. So what this wax is doing, when the lines are crossing on top of each other, they will have less friction and then causing less damage to the lines, which is of course really logical, which we are doing with bike chains. We put oil on it. In the car engine we put oil in it, and on kite lines we don't do anything. So now we have glide stick to prevent this sort of damage from happening to your lines. Okay, so how are you going to apply it? So first we need two things. We need the glide stick and we need some friction, and friction creates heat to melt that glide stick. So take your lines under tension, then take your glide stick and start rubbing it up and down, like with some motion and some speed. The lower 4 meters are the most important ones, so we will have to put some wax on that. Now you can already see that it's changing a bit of color, and you can see that there is some wax on top of the line right now. Okay, so now that there's wax on top of the lines, we will need some more heat and some more friction. You can see the wax actually here on the line on my fingers right now, and we will add some more heat to that to make sure that it's round and that there's not a lot of fuzz, because now the lines are actually not smooth and then you will get more friction. So how are we going to do that? We're going to add it by taking some cloth, having the lines under tension, and then rubbing it with a bit of speed and a bit of force, and then we are pushing in that that wax. Now this area is the same line but not waxed. Now let's move down to where it is waxed, and you can actually see that the line is looking not fuzzy anymore, and that then the coating or the wax has coated the line again and preventing damage to that line. So let me add some wax here. We're gonna do exactly the same. Speed, motion is what we need. Then when you're done with this, we're gonna add some heat, or friction heat, I should say. Now this is the same line again. I didn't do anything with it, and it feels like new and it looks like new, and you can see that this line now is not fuzzy anymore, and both are looking super nice and super fresh. So you can see no more fuzziness to the line, just because we added some wax. Now when the lines are crossing again, you're crossing the lines again, then that wax will melt and it will work as a lubricant. So if you are Jamie or Jason, it doesn't matter, wax your lines, and that's how you apply your line wax. So super simple, all you need is the line wax and a piece of cloth and some tension on the line. Just rub it and do it outdoors, because as you can see here, a lot of wax will drop on your floor and it's hard to remove. So always wax your lines outdoor and not indoor. Alright, have a good session.